Hey guys, welcome to another Steel City Styrene Mountain video. The nominal title of this, when you look at it on YouTube, will be Weekend Results and Acquisitions. But we're going to delve a little bit deeper into it than that on the weekend results side of things. For those people who follow all these videos on the channel here, you know from our stash report videos that we've been talking about the fact that there was going to be some local contests this past weekend. So we attended those, and we picked some things up for both the model we entered and some stuff that we got that not making the stash go down at all. But you know what? It's we have one more local show coming up here in November, and then that is entering our dark period for the winter until really March when the show season restarts, at least here locally. I might go to an IPMS show out in Columbus in February. It depends on what the weather's like and what work's like. It was really, really, really crazy the last couple of weeks. It sort of calmed down to a reasonable, which I consider, like 60 hours a week to be reasonable. Slowed down to a reasonable amount of time here the last week or so. Of course, we had, the weekend off, so that, made it a little easier to relax and sort of take a breath and catch up with things. Recording time's a little bit of a premium right now because wife's got a new job, and with the kids and my 12 hours of work and everything else like that, I really wanted to get this recorded like Sunday night and up on Monday, but here it is Wednesday, and gotta deal with what you gotta deal with. So anybody knows the McLaren, the Boots on Guignon Racing 12C GT3 car that I did for Texas Andy Tactical Jackalopes. Top speed build, 1/3 place, got that boat. It had only been to one model show, and that was actually before I took the outside pictures for the actual final entry into the top speed contest, because I happened to be really cranking it out to get it built because the show in Columbus in the spring that few people that I know, and at least a few people that probably everybody on YouTube knows belong to the club. Matt Gettert would be one of those people. The Buckeye Scale Classic, or whatever that show's actually called. I have the flyer here someplace. Buckeye Classic Motor Car Contest. Here's your flyer for next year. Schedule your dates. March 20th, 2016, Columbus, Ohio. Actually, doubling up at the county fairgrounds for Franklin County, which is the county that Columbus sits in. Great show. They do a little bit of unique judging there. It's builder's choice, first through third. There's a total of 19 categories, 17 categories and a couple of theme categories. This year's theme, Rat Rod, the Ohio Challenge being the Revell 70 Hemi Cuda. At any rate, it's a great show to go to. Had a decent amount of vendors and things like that. But like I said, it's unique in the fact that it's builders judging. So if you build something and enter it, you're given a judging slip, and you get to pick your favorite based on the builders. It's not a people's choice. Our show, the show that the South Hills South Hills Modelers Association does, is a people's choice where pretty much everybody walks in the door, gets a ballot, and so it is what it is in the judging, in the results of that, because sometimes you'll have some people that really don't know what they're looking at vote for things that another builder would not vote at, and a certain play we would not get judged the same way, if that makes sense. But anyway, I took it to that show this past March, and I got there at like noon because I was told that judging didn't start till noon, and then it didn't. And anyway, there's not sour grapes about that, but that was the show it entered into, and it really didn't get a fair shake there because I showed up at the last minute, and so it really, nobody really got a chance to see it, and it was what it was. And the experience was more to build it to get
that ability to vote, because it sounds petty, but people built to enter to make sure that some people didn't win. That's a long story. PM me if you want that back history, but at any rate. So this past weekend, we went to Zanesville, Ohio, to the Y-City Scale Modelers Contest. Make sure I got the club names right. And, of course, this past Sunday was the Three Rivers Auto Modelers Contest here in Pittsburgh. Now, Three Rivers is a little bit of a special contest to me
because it is a contest along with the what they call SVASCOM, the Shenango Valley Area Scale Modelers Association. They have an IPMS club, so they do a convention. Those are really the only two model contests that are still in existence, that were in existence 20 years ago when I was getting out of the juniors and into actual, adult building at 18 and 19. And they're also, I could say they're the last contest I won things at, and it's not really about winning things, but it's the last contest I placed at. There used to be a show in St. Clairsville, Ohio at the mall down there, which is ironic because now I live a lot closer to it than I used to, and it doesn't exist anymore. And there also used to be a show, the Moraine Valley IPMS Club. I think the club still exists, but they don't have a show anymore up around Butler, Pennsylvania. They used to have a show at that mall every year, too. Those shows, like I said, are long gone, and we still have our 4 shows here in Pittsburgh. So we went out to Zanesville, and this is really a little unique plaque as far as what the background there is. We got second place in competition open closed wheel. I would say this is actually a class win because for the people who have seen it, John Brolin was there. John's a great guy. Love him in a non-homo way. Love him and the guys from West Virginia. They're a great group of guys. I've hung out with them actually at Gary Holchek's house for the 24-hour build they do every year in January. I've known John probably for 3 or 4 years, maybe 5 years now. Just a really good builder, and he has been showing this past show season a 1/12 F1 car, Tamiya Lotus John Player Special F1 car. It is a multi-year project. It was actually, I guess, kind of sort of commission build. The guy hasn't paid for it yet. But it was built at the request of somebody else. A lot of Studio 27 details, a lot of photo etch. It is mint. It tends to win best of show in the places that it goes to. And so I walked in there, not realizing John would be there, because I knew John would be at the Three Rivers show, because they always come up for that. And, there it is, sitting there in my class. So, this is one of the things where if it hadn't been there, I got first. And it is such a great model that it's just not even fair to put anything in beside it. You could just have cleared off that table and everybody's table, because John did pick up best of show at the Zanesville show with that 1/12 scale F1 car. So, I told my wife about that. Well, you're a sore loser. It's not about losing, because John's a great guy, and, you just it's one of those builds that when you see it on the table, you know that you have no chance, and it's just that good a model. It's not because I'm jealous or anything else like that. It is just that good a model that when you see it there, you're just hanging out to see what happens after that point. So like I said, we picked up second, so happy with that. Like I said, I like this plaque, this sort of, everything is painted, I guess, Chevy engine red there, including the transmission for some reason, but it's a unique little plaque. First time I've ever been to this show, ever, so, it was a good little show. It's not a great big one, but it's it was worth the drive. I got to hang out with some people from the Buckeye Club who were out there, and then we went to Three Rivers on Sunday. Three Rivers on Sunday, there were, I believe, 7 or 8 entries in competition, closed open wheel. There really wasn't anything on the table you could really just write off. We were having this discussion a couple of days ago about judging, and you see people going over every single entry with a flashlight and a magnifying glass or whatever, and you're like, most contests you can go to when it has a big class, usually that'll be a replica stock, custom, and hot rods. Those tend to be your really well packed out classes. Because there are so many things, you tend to be able to look at the table and quickly push a third of the models, off the table, metaphorically speaking. You would never actually touch anybody's things. But just, they're not there. The paint's bad, the foil's bad, the whatever's bad, and those aren't even in consideration. And then you begin a closer inspection, and usually that can, call out another third. And that last 5 to 10 models are the ones that you really legitimately go over with a flashlight, a magnifying glass, or a jeweler's loop, or whatever you happen to have. You're going to go that in-depth on it. To, really see the in-depth detail work, because, from, the 2-foot mark of just looking at it, everything is sort of equal at that point. So there wasn't anything on the table that you could just automatically kick off. So I wasn't necessarily even really considering placing, but, folks. First. Now, I know that, Hunter does these videos where he talks about what he wins. put these down here because I need this space over here to show what I bought. And Hunter gets some static about showing off what he wins because people think that, I don't know, contest building isn't for everybody, and it just isn't. And a lot of people, for some reason, believe that going to model contests is all about the competition, and then if you build for contests, you're some sort of egomaniacal asshole or something like that. And, honestly, to me, I could have walked away with absolutely nothing from either show, and I would have had a great time at both shows because, to me, it is a social retail environment. I saw John and a couple of the West Virginia guys, not all of them, on Saturday in Zanesville. And then I saw John again and all of the West Virginia guys on Sunday in Pittsburgh. I saw Mike and Matt and a bunch of the people from Buckeye on Saturday. They did not make the trip to Columbus. But on Sunday, I saw several people locally that I haven't seen since the shows in March. So it's very good to just reconnect with friends, just, if you're going to a model show and you're actually going to be there all day, which is a thing you're going to do if you enter a model, I showed up at about 10 o'clock both mornings, and judging usually ends a little before, or judging awards are presented usually a little bit before 3, maybe a little after 3, depending on how long judging goes. And so, you're going to be there all day. And so, having the ability to just sort of go outside and hang out and just shoot the shit and catch up what's been going on with you. I mean, you can get to a point where you're friends with people that you know these people reasonably well. I mean, perhaps you aren't going to their houses or you're not, really staying in touch with them, but, you know about your families, you know what's going on with you, how's your health, how's your kids, all that sort of stuff. So it's great to just go out and hang out with people. We spend a lot of time behind the camera, on Facebook, on YouTube, on forums, and, you just, so, for that, it's great to just be able to go out and hang out with people. I used to go to the Cleveland NNL back in
the days when it was still out at the Lucas County Fairgrounds, which will show how long it's been since I've been there. And that show's all about going out and meeting a group of people, and then going to dinner, because that show's not really judged. They give out a few awards, but it's not judged like a regular model contest. Oh, none of the NNLs are. And then coming back and seeing if you won any door prizes with the raffle tickets that you bought. And then, there's usually like see who won the Master Awards, Best of Show, Best Junior, and things like that. And then, you pack up and maybe, if you're spending the weekend, you went to the toy show the next day. Excuse me. But that show was all about hanging out, because that show, was a big draw. It may not be around all that much longer, but that's, that's what it is. That's sort of, if you've gone the last couple of years, you know why. But, it was just a time to go hang out. I saw some people from Michigan that I don't actually even see anymore because I don't go that far out to the shows. They don't come in this way to the shows. But it was, at the time, it was, seeing some people that lived in Michigan, Indiana, Northwest Ohio, that kind of thing. So, sort of just piggybacking on, because he did a thing where, recent video, I think it was over the weekend, where he got I can't think of what. It was highly commended, I believe, what the actual award was for a diorama that he'd entered in a IPMS contest in Florida. And, his thing about that was, enter your stuff in contests. If you're going to go to the contest, you should enter your stuff, because you never know how well it's going to place or if it's going to place. But even then, it's more of the social experience. I mean, I got to hang out with a bunch of people I don't get to see that often, and I have a whole bunch of stuff to show you that I bought. Now, did I need to buy any of it? No, of course not. Could I have gone without seeing these people? Sure, I could have. But entering the contest with the McLaren was just, it was $5 at Zanesville, because there was no, what we call GA, no general admission. There was no door there because it was in a fairgrounds, and there was a flea market type of thing going on at the same time. So there was no actual thing you had to pay to get in. You could go in and look at the models and do your shopping without paying. But if you want to enter, it was $5. And then Three Rivers is $5 at the door and $2 for the first model. And I don't know how much more it would be beyond that, because I only put the one in. But, entering it was just because, well, I'm there. I've got this model built. I am satisfied with the way it came out. I can't say I'm happy. It's you're your own worst critics. I know every single flaw of that model kit. And so, you're sort of swallowing your pride to a certain extent because you personally don't like the model, or you're not thrilled with it. It could be better, and you know what you would do to fix it the next time, kind of thing.
But, it was there, and I had it, and I was going anyway, so might as well put it in. And to bring back, a plaque and a trophy, huzzah. The South Hills one means a lot to me because, again, like I said, that was literally the last show I had entered and placed at probably 20 years ago. For anybody who's local to the Pittsburgh area, would remember that show used to be out at the Sheraton, which is now something else, up in Cranberry, by where the Turnpike and 79 meet. And I didn't go Sheraton this year. Ironically, I could have. I had to end up having the day off, but I was supposed to work that day. There's not that many shows that are around from when I was a kid. So, it means a little something, even though we're the competing club in Pittsburgh. It just meant something to go there and actually, win something someplace I had won something a long time ago. And beyond that, beyond me and my, because it's coming off, I'm bragging, which I'm doing a little bit of, because, hey, I'm happy, but beyond that, what I want to go and look at for half a second is the fact that what I entered, guys, for the people who have never watched it, you don't have to watch the whole thing, but there's a 40-some-odd minute video of me critiquing every bit of it on the channel, somewhere in the channel history. But what that kit is an out-of-the-box Fujimi kit. I built that thing straight out of the box. The only thing I added to it was a Studio 27 carbon fiber decal set and a Studio 27 livery set for the Boots Guillon Racing team. That's it. There's no photo etch. There's no scratch built nothing. There's no kit bashed anything. It is what came in the box, spray painted black, decals put on top of it. I mean, the interior is detail painted and it's not all black, but you get where I'm going with that. It is a 60-part model kit, not even an engine. There is a glass viewing port that you can see the top of the engine that is engraved in there, which is not even that great of a representation of the real thing. It was detail painted to look better than it could have been, I suppose. Excuse me. But the point is, it's a long-held belief that I've had, a lot of people have had, that you don't need to bling out something to win. You don't need to bling out something to place. You don't, a lot of people seem to feel that model contests are all populated by Gerald Wingrove, Mark Jones kind of people, where everything, or John Brolin, who's, they have these massively built, detailed to the nth extreme, look like you could put gasoline in it, fire it up, and drive it off at the contest table, vehicles. Now, there are some of those that exist. There are people like that. Bill Borgen does a lot of stuff with trucks that are very, very detailed. There's a lot of, really good builders out there. Yes, there are, but that doesn't necessarily mean that every single person at a contest builds like that. There's, frankly, some stuff there that I would not have entered if it was my model kit. But those people are there having a good time, and that's what the point is. That's not the competition aspect. They built something, they entered it into the contest, they bought a bunch of stuff, and they had a good time. But if you are of that mindset that you can't enter a contest, or even if you entered a contest, you couldn't win anything because you just built box stock or you're out of the box, however you want to look at it, and those kits aren't judged fairly. It's all about photo etch and bling and no, it's not. Could that stuff help you? Yes, if it's done properly. And we've all spent a lot of time on Facebook. I don't know. I don't scour YouTube looking for bad model kits, so I don't know if they're out there or not. But we've all seen it on Facebook, on forums, on the internet, in our friends, clubs, everything. People who build kind of lousy and, to sort of supplant the lousiness, they sprinkle $100 worth of photo etch all over everything and try to make that look, fill the gap between their skills and what they want the product to be. There was a exotic car at the contest on Sunday in Pittsburgh that somebody used the kit supplied photo etch with, but they didn't paint any of it. So this car, which has black intake grills, black brake grills, black everything pretty much on the photo etch fret, the guy left them the nickel-plated, the nickel-silver color that the photo etch comes in. Might as well not put it on. Might as well just use the plastic parts, because all you did was draw attention to the fact that, holy moly, there's photo etch here, and you just used it because it came with the kit. You didn't use it in a realistic manner. So, I know something Hunter always harps on all the time. Basic building, simple skills, clean, do the basics, and let it ride. Because when it comes right down to it, a cleanly built box stock model kit can and should win any class that it's entered into, regardless of whether or not there's a box stock specific class, which there was in Zanesville, but there was not in Pittsburgh, regardless, because a cleanly built, well-executed model should beat anything else that is of lesser quality but more detail. Like I said, curbside, no engine, the chassis plate, if you guys have never seen it, is piss on a plate flat. There's nothing there at all, and it won first place against some actual decent competition. It wasn't like there wasn't anybody entered. It wasn't like the stuff that was there was junk and I walked away. It was not that kind of deal. And, I just want to, go out there, man. If you build and you're happy with it and you want to enter it, go for it. Plus, like I said, get to meet people, talk to people. These people will become your friends, seeing them face to face and actually talking about stuff. And it's retail therapy. So we're going to spin the camera this way and show you the retail therapy I did. Okay, guys, I apologize for the quality of the workbench in the sense of it being a relatively, whoops, need to get my leg out from underneath my desk there and accidentally kick the camera. But like I said, the workspace is a little bit on the dirty side because literally I'm building a BMW right here and I just folded the instruction sheet back. So we picked a couple things up off of eBay real quick. These both on the same seller. A couple of out-of-production Mercedes-Benz kits that I had been looking for, and these were a price that I couldn't pass. This here, oops, I'm trying to figure out which way my camera's actually facing. There we go. Is the Mercedes-Benz 300 CE two-door coupe. This is a Fujimi kit from way back when. I'm not so sure this has a copyright date handy here. Let me see if the instruction manual has a copyright. $1988. I was gonna say I don't think this was made way back when. I don't think it's been done one more time. They did like a 24 valve version of the 124. As far as I know, I don't believe there's anything actually different about that kit other than the decals. But this is, of course, the smaller two-door to the 500 SL and the S600 Coupe. I have a bunch of period, if you want to call them that, Mercedes that all fit around this, all of them being the Tamiya kits that were done at that time. And so, like I said, it's a curbside. It's pretty basic. It's not that basic, but it's, it's not like, it's motorized or anything else like that, but it's not, full detail by any stretch of the imagination. And like I said, it's just something that was the right price and was something had my eye on for a while because, like I said, fits in a slot in the collection of the late 80s, early 90s Mercedes that I have. The other Mercedes-Benz would be this original 1982 issue of the Mercedes-Benz 500 SEC. My friends like to call this the milquetoast version of this kit because there is, of course, the Lorenzer tuner version out there. Like I said, this is an original 1982 version of this kit. This is a full detail kit. It does come with an engine, suspension, drivetrain, the whole 9 yards. Be interesting to see how well the decals are going to work here because I believe there are some like wood grain decals for the interior, and of course these decals are 30 plus years old. If it doesn't work out, we'll just do the painting necessary to sort of hide the fact that the decals are bad. This kit itself, where's my skewer? Where's my pointer? This kit, because of its age, is going to be my entry into Tactical Jackalopes, that 70s Tamiya build, which I know you guys, if you watch this side of the channel, know I was talking about last month. That contest, not a contest, it's just a build-off. There's no rewards, there's no judging, it's just a build-off of vintage Tamiya kits. That contest is that build-off. Group build, there's the word I'm looking for. The group build is going to start on October 1st, which is tomorrow. So it's going to start tomorrow and run through, I believe, the end of the year or thereabouts. It's 3 months, so November, December, the end of the year. The only requirement is that it has to be a Tamiya kit that is originally tooled prior to 1985. So from 1968 to 1985, There's a great deal of automotive kits, this one included. I showed you the other 4 that I had that were of that age. I didn't buy this specifically for the build. It just, again, popped up for a really nice price, and I couldn't pass it up. Plus, I got combined shipping with the 2 Mercedes-Benz in general. Looking forward to this one. Like I said, it is a full detail kit, so it's 100 and some odd parts. I haven't really sat down and figured out colors. I mean, I think all of these 500 SECs had the gunmetal bottoms over a base color up top. So I've got to do a little research into colors and stuff like that, but that's going to be our that 70s Tamiya build entry. And we went to Zanesville. In Zanesville, we picked up this bagged kit. This is exactly what it says here. It's the 64.5 Mustang, or the 64 Mustang convertible, however you want to look at it. This is the Revell monogram version of this. So this, I'm not sure when this technically would have come out. It probably would have been like, 1995, 1996, somewhere in that vicinity. The only other version of this that came out with the dual branded logo on it that was convertible was the Indy Pace Car version, which for some reason seems to sell for a lot more. Maybe because unique tie-in. I don't really know if that's the excuse or not. But this has been reissued underneath the monogram logo label in that weird marketing scheme with the Dream Rides thing, a year or 2 ago. The boxes of those were going for $17. Same vendor had this bagged kit. I don't know what the story is with the box, but everything is in there, and I know the vendor, so if there isn't, I can go back and hunt him down. But the decals in here are probably going to be shot, but there really isn't much in the decals. It's like an engine, the air cleaner decal, and I think a battery decal and some license plates here. This is going to be my cancer awareness build. Now, again, if you watch the channel, you know the Cliff Roadhog. There's some numbers there that I can't remember, but I'll throw a link in the description. If you don't know, you should know. I mean, if you're on YouTube and you're in the modeling community, you know who Cliff is and you know what the cancer awareness build is all about. Again, that build starts also tomorrow on Thursday. It only runs, quote unquote, to the end of the month. Am I going to get this done in a month? Technically, I probably could because it's not that complicated a kit. I mean, you think about the origins of this. Is a monogram kit. This is 124 scale, and it's at least 20, 30 years old at this point. But I'm going to be doing the cancer awareness build for my mom. I'm going to do a separate video about this. I'm not going to go real in depth to it, but I'm doing it for my mom. My mom really, really loved the first gen Mustangs, and she always wanted a Mustang convertible, period, of any generation, but she really liked the 64s, 65s. Like I said, I don't want to give too much away because I'm going to do a separate video on it, but I built her one when I was a kid, like 14, 15 years old, out of the AMT kit of the 65. And I painted it pink with a really, really lousy teenage vinyl top. But she really loved that model. I think she kept it. She still had it when she passed last February. And so this is going to be the cancer awareness build dedicated to her. And we'll go into that. We'll go into the Mercedes in more detail as well for that 70s Tamiya build. But like I said, I don't want to go too much into it because I don't want the video to be an hour long and it also kill the point of doing another video. One out of production kit we picked up in Zanesville, very happy to find this again at a price I couldn't walk away from, is the Fujimi Enthusiast Series 1969 Porsche 911S. There's only at this point, I believe, to be maybe 3 or 4 Porsches in the Enthusiast series that I want that I don't have. There would be the 1967 one, the 85 Turbo, and the slant nose, the 911, what they call flat nose, slant nose. Maybe we're going to get the flat nose here next month. I've sent an email to Fujimi asking whether or not the kit is going to be a repop of the curbside or a repop of the Enthusiast Series kit, because all their website is saying right now is it's a resurrection of a long gone kit, and both kits have been out of production for probably the same amount of time since the late 80s. So it's kind of hard to tell what they're planning to bring out. So hopefully they'll answer me, or we'll find out when the kit comes out in about 2 weeks. But this is, like I said, one of the ones I've been looking for. Ended up picking this up for less than the cost new. So that was really, made me happy, including the exchange rate. So picked this up for less than it was new. If you look around on eBay for these things, these tend to go above $50 or at or above $50, and getting this for what it cost new, that really made my day. I haven't seen one of these stateside in person in forever, since, the last time they were reissued. And, it's always one of those things where Fujimi reissued all the Enthusiast Series kits not that long ago, and blah, blah, blah. Now you want one, and you can't find one. Although this actually is a original 1986 version. So, I haven't even really had a chance to look through here. I just made sure everything was there and grabbed it and ran away before anybody else could. And then I picked up one new kit in Zanesville, and that is the newly released Galaxy Limited 1947 Chevy Coupe. As we discussed when this kit came out last month, this does include all of the parts to make the 46 and the 48 Chevy as well. It is a 3-in-1. It is, you can build it just straight up bone stock. This sort of little custom version here. And, I guess this would be a better representation of the custom thing right here on this end. And then there's also a drag racing version. So you have your choice of what you're going to do with it. I have the other Galaxy Limited Chevys. I haven't, this obviously, I literally threw everything down when I got home on Sunday and went to work on Monday and Tuesday. So, it's still sealed. I haven't even had a chance to look at it, but I've seen it online. I know what's inside of it. And like I said, I have the sedan delivery and the Aero sedan, so I know everything that's from here down, and I'm good with that, and the body looked all right to me, so we picked that up. And then we went to Three Rivers on Sunday. Picked up a few new kits. This, of course, being the Mobius 1965 Plymouth Satellite, which gets them. There we go, so you can actually see. We've seen enough of these things online, everything else like that. I don't have to do a review or anything else like that, but our show vendor we have here in Pittsburgh has really, really great prices on his domestic kits. So I tend to not pick up my domestic kits in bulk when the shows go that he's going to be attending. So pick this up. Picked up the reissue from a few, last month, I guess, of the old Monogram 1981 Ford Ranger pickup truck. The hot kit of last month, the 29 Ford Model A Roadster. I know probably a lot of people are surprised to see me get this. This is a really old kit for what I normally purchase, right? I'm only the import Japanese, German exotic, or German, Italian exotic guy. But no, I have quite a stash of domestic kits. Normally don't build stuff this old, but this is just a really cool kit in general, and a really cool concept as to how to build a 29A. So went out and grabbed that. And then got a couple of out-of-production things. Actually, technically, I believe you can still get this. This is the Toyota Sai Fujimi kit, curbside. This is the sister kit to the, let's see, we might get the numbers right here. This is the sister kit to the Lexus HS 250H. Basically, it's the Toyota Corolla. In Japan, they don't sell it as the Corolla, it is the Sai. And, of course, they made the Lexus version of it, which is very similar thinking as the Cadillac Cimarron was to the Chevrolet Cavalier back in the days. But it's just a boring Ford Japanese sedan, so why not? And, again, it was dirt cheap. One I was... Or is a bug. It doesn't exist anymore. One that I was very happy to find is this Hasegawa Ferrari 328 GTB because it's molded in white. Most of the reissues of this in the last 5 years, I think one reissue in the last 5 years, was molded in red. So finding the white one is cool. Again, this came really dirt cheap. This is a full detail kit. It has a full engine and everything. It's 138 parts. That's probably not going to, you can't see that part from this angle, but 138 parts, so it is a full detail kit, and it sort of plugs the one hole in my 1980s Ferrari collection, so happy to have that. And one last kit, this one actually being, again, brand new. This is the Revell of Germany, or Revell AG, BMW i8. What can you say? It's brand new, right? This is the first, well, actually, I guess last month, technically, but, you know, Germany kits are not part of the provider program, so these don't come out 3 weeks in advance like
the Revell USA kits do. So this came out at the end of the month, really beginning of this month. So this has really only been available in the United States for a couple of weeks now, unless you're willing to source it out of Europe by eBay vendor or online vendor. Very cool. It's full detail kit. You get the full engine, interior. It's like a trunk cover for the to cover the engine, because the engine in this is in the back. There's also a full, it doesn't show it on here, but there's a full detail electric motor as well for the front. And while it doesn't show on here, for anybody who's seen the inside of this kit, these doors do open on this kit, so it is not a situation where, or is a situation, I guess I should say, where you can position these up or down. Actually, this body shell, when you get it, is pretty much the front fender, the roof, and the back here, because this is a separate piece, I believe, or if it's not, well, I think it actually is. And then, of course, the doors are separate, and the back's missing because the engine goes back there. So, 131 parts, so full detail, full Monty, and then the other Revell of Germany kit that we're still waiting on. Technically, it's out in Europe, but its official distribution in the United States probably is not going to be until October, or will be next month, which means that you really won't see them on the street, so to speak, until the beginning of November. And that is, of course, the Porsche 918. The Porsche 918 Weissach version will be out probably November, December. So, anyway, I guess we'll spin this right on around here and tell you guys to have a good day. Hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you guys on the other side.